If you're getting into vacation rentals, the first investment I'd make wouldn't be into a property or furnishings, it'd be into a community. Sounds backwards, right? But here's why I say that, and I'm not just talking theory. I have a vacation rental management company here in Myrtle Beach. We manage over 75 properties, homes, and condos. I have investors that I work with that have bought multiple $1 million plus properties and have seen a lot of success. I've also worked with clients who unfortunately have lost thousands within their first year and then get burned out and sell that property within the first 12 months. The difference between those two outcomes starts way before the deal. It usually comes from who they're learning from. When you first get into short-term rentals, it can be really overwhelming. You've got the marketing, which is really complicated. You've got different regulations in different markets. You got a whole lot of different people telling you what to do. And it's like anything, you need a great teacher to be great at it. And the smartest move you can make before buying a rental, join a community of other short-term rental investors. So what exactly does joining a vacation rental community look like? Now, I totally get it. Community is almost like a trigger word, right? We've all been sold at some point joining a $1,000 plus community, right? It's a very popular thing nowadays. But if you join the right community, it can be a gold mine. So let's break down what that looks like. So the first and most obvious benefit of joining a community is that you learn from others before you make the mistakes yourself, right? By joining a really good community, a major aspect is transparency. You won't get this in YouTube videos, you won't get this in Instagram Reels, you probably won't even get this level of detail from my videos, but in communities, people will share, the good ones, people will share, the real details of how their deals are working, what mistakes they've made, what's costed them, what's led to their success. You get in great detail what others have been successful at and what they failed at. And this ultimately speeds up your success. And a good way to put it is you can pay for your mistakes or you can pay to avoid those mistakes. The second piece is the insider knowledge that you won't be able to get from a Google search, right? Just like I said before, the level of detail that some of these people in these groups are willing to share is incredible. I mean, you can get really, really deep on different markets, right? And all these markets are different. We're in Myrtle Beach, we're a very seasonal market, obviously popular during the summer months when the beach is fun, not so popular this time of year in the winter, right? But in these communities, you'll find people from all over the country, right? So you may even be thinking that, going into this area is where I want to invest, but maybe you join the community and they give you data on, 5 other areas that are doing really well and make more sense to invest in. So the level of detail and data that you're going to get from these communities, the first-hand data, is going to be invaluable. The next great piece of this is the networking. And I'm not just talking about a realtor or a lender that you could find in these groups. I'm talking about partnerships and deals. I've seen a lot of joint ventures and some of the best deals put together in these groups that I've been a part of. And maybe there's a deal that you want to tackle, but you don't have necessarily the resources to do it, right? You might need a partner. And there's a lot of benefits to partnerships as well, just outside of getting money, right? There's partnerships where you can leverage that person's experience, right? Maybe they've done a deal, maybe they've had multiple vacation rental properties. They need someone to come in with a little capital that you may have. You guys work together and kind of combine both of your benefits into making a great deal work. The fourth benefit is that you'll stay ahead of trends and regulations. Vacation rentals are anything but consistent like most of the world we live in. Things are constantly evolving. So you may get into it and you may find success with one thing and doing things a certain way, but I promise you that will change. And by being in these groups, you're gonna get feedback from people in a bunch of different markets and even feedback in your local market and how things are changing and evolving. I like to stay, obviously in tune and updated on things that are going around in the country for multiple different reasons. Regulations are a big thing right now that you got to be wary of. There's also some things that are being done in markets that are what I would say are ahead of ours that we can kind of learn from and implement in our own market. And the only way you do that is by being tuned in. You can't just get a weekly email with, a few headline updates. You need to be in it, and these groups will give you that. The fifth benefit that I don't think a lot of people think about when they get into it is that you're not gonna be alone, right? This is gonna be a journey for you as you start investing. You're gonna have failures. Even if you join a great group, you're gonna have failures, you're gonna have setbacks, right? And by being in a group of other people that have gone through that, you're gonna feel way, way better, right? There's this psychological piece of it that you need to consider. And I know that sounds maybe woo-woo to some people, but man, you do get just hit in the wrong spots sometimes when you're in the real estate world. So by being in this other group, you'll see that other people have gone through it and it'll help you get through it as well. So I've got to give a quick plug to my company, My Beach Vacation Rentals. We handle property management in the Myrtle Beach market. And we try to be more than just a property manager. We want to be your special advisor so you can have great success. And we want you to grow. That is our ultimate goal, is we want to help investors have success with their first property so they can buy more and, ultimately get very wealthy off the real estate game. So if you're looking for a property manager, you have a property, or you're looking to maybe switch up, reach out to us on our website, mybeachrentals.com. Go to the management services page, plug in your info, and I'd love to have a chat. Now let's talk about where to actually find these communities. There are 3 communities that I follow and I would highly recommend. Now, I'll give a disclaimer, I'm not a part of any of these communities directly, nor am I sponsored or paid by these communities to talk about this, but I will say one thing for sure. I've been part of similar communities before, and the communities that give away great stuff for free are gonna have great stuff once you join the community. So the first community, and this one's my favorite, they put out a ton of great content through podcasts. They've got a good free Facebook community. They do YouTube. It's STR Secrets. It's a group of guys that started this a few years back, maybe 5 to 10 years ago. And their goal was kind of probably the same position that you're in. It was a guy that was in kind of a corporate job. He bought a vacation rental with his wife, wanted it to be successful. It ended up being successful. Eventually he added enough in his own portfolio that he could leave his corporate job, and he got a ton of time back to spend with his family and doing hobbies that he enjoys, and now has this community of a lot of like-minded investors that are ultimately trying to build to that financial freedom. The next group I'll point out is by a lady. Her name is Stacy St. John. She has a great online community. She's got a podcast. She does a whole lot of content. She's like constantly live doing these YouTube lives and Facebook's lives, which is awesome. I would recommend checking her out. Go to her website. I think it's stacystjohn.com, and there's a ton of great resources on there you can use to learn more about her. The third group is by a guy. His name's Rob Abasolo. On YouTube and online, he's known as Row Built. He was actually a co-host on the Bigger Pockets podcast, which is probably the biggest well-known source of knowledge and learnings is Bigger Pockets. So he's got a lot of credibility to his name. He makes a lot of fun YouTube videos. He doesn't necessarily go like super deep into management, but he's got a ton of great stories on what he's been successful at, what he hasn't been successful at, and he's got his own sort of co-host host academy group that talks about how to find great rentals, how to manage them, and all that fun stuff. So I would definitely check him out as well. Between those 3, you're gonna get knowledge from people at every different level. And there's a ton more communities out there. Like I said, these are just ones that I've got a ton of free value from before, and I believe in them. I know some people that have joined these communities that I mentioned, and they've had a lot of success. So let's zoom out for a second. Vacation rental communities are going to give you the shortcut to experience, right? You're gonna learn from other people's screw-ups. You're also gonna learn from their wins. You're gonna see people that have invested a lot and made a lot of mistakes that have been quite costly. And you're also going to be a part of a great network of people you can use to grow your portfolio in the future. So here's what I do next. Follow and go check out a few of those communities that I've mentioned. Like I said, a few of them have free Facebook groups. They've got a ton of free content. Follow those for a little bit. And once you feel comfortable with who you like the best, make a decision and commit to it. Now, there's usually a pretty big cost to joining these communities, but I guarantee you that cost is far less than what it would be if you made the wrong investment decision with a certain property. Now, once you join a community, it's not just to sit back, relax, and watch some videos. You've got to engage. This is a great opportunity to talk with people one-on-one. And a lot of these people in these communities, they like to give back value, and I'm sure you will after you've had some success as well. So you can probably reach out to them one-on-one, have a lot of phone calls, have a lot of Zooms, maybe even meet up with some people if you're local to any of them. But it's on you to really engage and extract as much value as possible. And remember, it's not just about avoiding mistakes. It's about getting better faster. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Now, if you found your community and you're looking in the Myrtle Beach market, which we are in, I'd love you to reach out to us. Go to our website, mybeachrentals.com, go to the management services tab, and under there, I've got a 2025 rental market report that you can download for free. It's gonna give you some great insights into this local market, and eventually I'd love to talk to you. We do property management here, and we can help your investment succeed so that you're as hands-off as possible. Otherwise, like the video, subscribe, put a comment below on what community you joined, and I look forward to hearing from you.